What was the primary land route used for trade between India and Europe before the discovery of the sea route? Option A, Spice Route. Option B, Silk Road. Option C, Grand Trunk Road. Option D, Trans-Saharan Route. The answer is Silk Road. Which empire blocked the traditional land route to India in 1453? Option A, Mughal Empire. Option B, Ottoman Empire. Option C, Byzantine Empire. Option D, Safavid Empire. The answer is Ottoman Empire. Who conquered Constantinople in 1453, leading to the blockade of the land route to India? Option A, Suleiman the Magnificent. Option B, Mehmed II. Option C, Selim I. Option D, Osman I. The answer is Mehmed II. Who initiated the search for a sea route to India? Option A, Christopher Columbus. Option B, Vasco da Gama. Option C, Prince Henry the Navigator. Option D, Ferdinand Magellan. The answer is Prince Henry the Navigator. Which Portuguese explorer first sailed around the southern tip of Africa in 1487? Option A, Vasco da Gama. Option B, Bartolomeu Dias. Option C, Afonso de Albuquerque. Option D, Pedro Álvares Cabral. The answer is Bartolomeu Dias. What was the southern tip of Africa initially named by Bartolomeu Dias? Option A, Cape of Good Hope. Option B, Cape of Storms. Option C, Cape of India. Option D, Cape of Portugal. The answer is Cape of Storms. Who renamed the Cape of Storms to the Cape of Good Hope? Option A, Prince Henry the Navigator. Option B, King John II of Portugal. Option C, Vasco da Gama. Option D, Afonso de Albuquerque. The answer is King John II of Portugal. In which year did Vasco da Gama set sail from Portugal to find a sea route to India? Option A, 1492. Option B, 1497. Option C, 1498. Option D, 1502. The answer is 1497. What was the name of Vasco da Gama's flagship during his voyage to India? Option A, São Gabriel. Option B, São Rafael. Option C, Berrio. Option D, São Miguel. The answer is São Gabriel. Who guided Vasco da Gama across the Indian Ocean to India? Option A, Ibn Battuta. Option B, Abdul Majid. Option C, Marco Polo. Option D, Zheng He. The answer is Abdul Majid. On which date did Vasco da Gama reach Calicut, India? Option A, May 20, 1498. Option B, June 15, 1497. Option C, August 12, 1499. Option D, December 25, 1500. The answer is May 20, 1498. Who was the ruler of Calicut when Vasco da Gama arrived in 1498? Option A, Krishnadevaraya. Option B, Zamarin. Option C, Akbar the Great. Option D, Shivaji. The answer is Zamarin. Which empire ruled Delhi in 1498 when Vasco da Gama arrived in India? Option A, Mughal Empire. Option B, Vijayanagara Empire. Option C, Delhi Sultanate, Sikandar Lodi. Option D, Maratha Empire. The answer is Delhi Sultanate, Sikandar Lodi. Which empire dominated South India during Vasco da Gama's arrival? Option A, Mughal Empire. Option B, Vijayanagara Empire. Option C, Chola Empire. Option D, Maurya Empire. The answer is Vijayanagara Empire. What was the initial reaction of the Zamarin of Calicut to Vasco da Gama? Option A, hostile. Option B, welcoming. Option C, indifferent. Option D, fearful. The answer is welcoming. Who was the first viceroy of Portuguese India? Option A, Vasco da Gama. Option B, Francisco de Almeida. Option C, Afonso de Albuquerque. Option D, Pedro Álvares Cabral. The answer is Francisco de Almeida. What policy did Francisco de Almeida introduce to secure Portuguese trade routes? Option A, Blue Water Policy. Option B, Divide and Rule Policy. Option C, Mercantilism. Option D, Imperialism. The answer is Blue Water Policy. Which Portuguese governor captured Goa in 1510? Option A, Vasco da Gama. Option B, Francisco de Almeida. Option C, Afonso de Albuquerque. Option D, Pedro Álvares Cabral. The answer is Afonso de Albuquerque. Which local ally helped Afonso de Albuquerque capture Goa? Option A, Krishnadevaraya. Option B, Timaya. Option C, Zamarin. Option D, Shivaji. The answer is Krishnadevaraya. Which crop was introduced to India by the Portuguese? Option A, wheat. Option B, rice. Option C, maize. Option D, barley. The answer is maize. Where was the first printing press in India established by the Portuguese? Option A, Calicut. Option B, Goa. Option C, Cochin. Option D, Bombay. The answer is Goa. In which year did the Dutch establish their first factory in India? Option A, 1605. Option B, 1610. Option C, 1616. Option D, 1658. The answer is 1605. Where did the Dutch establish their first factory in India? Option A, Pulicat. Option B, Machilipatnam. Option C, Nagapattinam. Option D, Surat. The answer is Machilipatnam. Which British captain arrived in Surat in 1608 and met Mughal Emperor Jahangir? Option A, William Hawkins. Option B, Thomas Roe. Option C, Francis Day. Option D, Job Charnock. The answer is William Hawkins. Where did the British establish their first factory in India? Option A, Madras. Option B, Surat. Option C, Bombay. Option D, Calcutta. The answer is Surat. Which European power established its first factory in Tranquebar? Option A, Dutch. Option B, British. Option C, French. Option D, Danes. The answer is Danes. Where did the French establish their headquarters in India? Option A, Surat. Option B, Pondicherry. Option C, Chandanagora. Option D, Machilipatnam. The answer is Pondicherry. Which battle in 1509 secured Portuguese dominance in the Indian Ocean? Option A, Battle of Plassey. Option B, Battle of Diu. Option C, Battle of Talikota. Option D, Battle of Wandiwash. The answer is Battle of Diu. Which empire was defeated at the Battle of Talikota in 1565? Option A, Mughal Empire. Option B, Vijayanagara Empire. Option C, Maratha Empire. Option D, Delhi Sultanate. The answer is Vijayanagara Empire. Which British fort was established in Madras in 1639? Option A, Fort St. George. Option B, Fort William. Option C, Fort St. David. Option D, Fort Cornwallis. The answer is Fort St. George. Which European power eventually dominated India by 1700? Option A, Portuguese. Option B, Dutch. Option C, British. Option D, French. The answer is British. Which British fort was established in Calcutta in 1696? Option A, Fort St. George. Option B, Fort William. Option C, Fort St. David. Option D, Fort Cornwallis. The answer is Fort William. Who was the ruler of the Vijayanagara Empire during the early 16th century? Option A, Akbar the Great. Option B, Sikandar Lodi. Option C, Krishnadevaraya. Option D, Shivaji. The answer is Krishnadevaraya. Where did the Dutch establish their first factory in India in 1605? Option A, Pulicat. Option B, Machilipatnam. Option C, Nagapattinam. Option D, Surat. The answer is Machilipatnam. When was the first fort of the British East India Company built? Option A, 1600. Option B, 1639. Option C, 1668. Option D, 1690. The answer is 1639.